Hey guys, this is Ruth from Paper Dragon and you're listening to Burst Radio. We're doing this as part of their In the Garden Live Lounge sessions. So as you can see, I'm in my garden of sorts in my little studio, but I hope you really enjoy this session we've put together. This first song is called Closer.
In the moment that I saw you, I saw someone I can't lose, just someone I gotta run to. Feels like falling. I know that I've got something real with you beside me. I know we found a place to call home, and I'll never let go. I'll never let go. I just need to be wherever you're close to me. I just need to be wherever you're close to me. Right there, making me fall. I'm feeling ready now, your love keeps steady. We move like we've done it before. You give me energy, your love's my remedy. Let's be dancing till the sunrise. Got me with you feeling so right. I feel better whenever you're close to me. I know that I've got something real with you beside me. I know we found a place to call home, and I'll never let go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, never let go. I know that I've got something real with you beside me. I know we found a place to go home, and I'll never let go. Yeah, oh, I'll never let go. I know that I've found something real with you beside me. I know we found a place to go home, and I'll never let go.
Thank you guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. This next song is called Paralyzed.
I know that I've drowned you out. When my cold hands on your mouth, maybe we could jump out of that 3-story house. I never thought I'd live it out to see my mind look cold. Never heard you sing that song, even when you knew every word. When we were caught up, I didn't think I'd give up. Didn't think I'd live this long. Thought I'd be paralyzed by someone. Oh yeah, someone. I know that you heard the call. Yeah, yeah. I know that you heard the call, but your phone was turned down low. Maybe it was locked, fucked up. I made you look around. never knew I could be so cruel. Anything to get you off my back and keep you cool. I'm burned in the middle. I was taking time and getting high, and I don't have a reason. I was so hard on you. I was so hard on you. I was so hard on you, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 yeah. Took something out of my heart. It's like you already knew how to make me fall apart. I had so many remedies, I think I bruised my mind. Is this how we pulled apart the pieces we could find? Yeah. Oh, I thought I'd be paralyzed by someone. I'd be paralyzed by someone, yeah. Oh. Ooh, hey, Thought I'd be paralyzed by someone, yeah. No. I'd be paralyzed by you.
Hope you guys enjoyed that one. All of these songs are up on our Spotify, and this next tune we've been really lucky to get a lot of love from Spotify, and this one's called Be Free. I hope you guys enjoy.
I let you take from me, and I won't get that back, so I just let it be. There are no words to say to defend the way you see, so I just let it be. I wanted to be in love with you. What will be, will be. I get stronger as the days go by. Soon I'll spread my wings. Soon I'll spread my wings. So I can be free. I can be free, yeah. I can be free. I can be free. I can be free. I can be free, yeah. I didn't want to listen when you said those words to me. When you said those words to me, they cut right through my life. Oh, they changed what I could see. Oh, they changed what I could see. It took time.
Then I
Oh, I realized only you could set me free. Oh, only you could set me free. No, I can be free. I can be free, yeah. I can be free, yeah. I can be free. I can be free. I can be free, yeah. Now that you turn it round and put it back on me, but this broken now I can spread my wings. So now I can spread my wings.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this session. Huge thanks to Burst Radio for having us. This final track that I'm going to play for you is our latest single called As I Am. Do come and say hey on our socials. We love meeting new people at Paper Dragon Official, or go and check us out on Spotify. Thanks, guys.
Some imperfection acquired by time. I stand before you and I shine, bare and uncovered with these marks on my mind. I like that I'm figured by design. Is it the scars on my skin as I let you in? I know it fills me with doubt as I try to be proud as I am, as I am, as I am, oh, as I am. Unconscious collection of things I should change. It's funny how it's never quite right. Maybe I'm not streamlined, but I like how I look in that late night picture you took. I like that the move when I walk. I don't mind. I don't have rules to be broke as I start to be proud as I am, as I am, as I am, oh, I know I'm textured, oh, hands on my skin, oh, bend back and breathe in as I let you in, oh, we keep on learning, then we begin, my body unfiltered, here as I am, as I am, as I am, as I am, oh, as I am, ooh, as I am.
Hi there, it's Alex from Burst Radio, and this week in the garden we have Bristol electronic collective Paper Dragon. They're joining us on the back of a very successful 2020, in which their debut EP received over 1 million streams on Spotify and received support from multiple national radio stations. How are you doing this evening?
Good, thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
really
us.
good, thank you.
No worries. So as we heard in the session we've just seen, you just released a new single, Paralyzed. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about this song and also the new one, As I Am, you've got coming out, and whether you think they seem to be sort of a development in your sound from your debut EP.
Yeah, I'm going to take this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are actually. We've been doing releases in a kind of seasonal manner because we had these tunes all finished quite a while ago, and so we kind of had this like backlog of tunes that we could pick and choose what we wanted to release, and we felt like, you know, towards the end of the year everyone's kind of being a bit more chilled and, you know, it's a bit more downbeat. We thought it was the right space to put those songs out. Paralyzed in particular is a very reflective song. It's kind of looking at the darker side of yourself, and kind of acknowledging that. And I kind of feel like winter months is a time that people do tend to get a bit more bit more reflective. So that was our thinking behind that tune. And then As I Am again was a tune that we'd had for a while, that I'd actually co-written with Sophie. I can't remember her surname now.
Delilah.
Sophie Delilah. There we go. Sophie Delilah before, and then we reworked it as a group. And it's kind of just, I feel like it has got the Paper Dragon sound. It does sound different from the other tracks, but I think when we all put our brains together and get in a room, like, something happens. I don't know what it is, but it always comes out with this amazing sound. So that's what happened with that tune. And so we wanted to put that out, again, kind of the quieter end of the year, but it's kind of a love song to yourself. It's accepting yourself for who you are. It's accepting all of your, rough edges and all your scars and everything. So we thought Valentine's Day is quite a nice time to put that out,
Yeah, it's also supporting something called the Keep It Real campaign, which is something Ruth has been promoting, which is about navigating through a landscape of false news and sort of filters and those sort of things. So the words in the song match up really nicely with the campaign. So we've sort of tied it in with that. But also, I think we're like these big advocates of equality and diversity, and we're sort of calling ourselves trans genre, or what's the other one? Genre fluid, so to speak. So we're just pushing this stuff out there, and we've just got a bit of space in the schedule to just experiment and just try some different things before we land with some pretty mega like dance floor collaborations, which are coming out in the coming months.
Fantastic. Yeah, I definitely think you can hear that there's an element of Paper Dragon in the sound, but it's just also a really nice kind of differentiation from your previous sort of more drum and bass that sort of style music. I'd be quite interested to hear as well. So you've talked about when you all get in the room, something magic happens. Do you think your combination of your previous experiences and previous projects you've all been on, do you think that really you can hear that in every element of Paper Dragon sound?
I think so. I mean, but particularly in that track, because we quite often in our tracks we record and track in a proper studio environment, and the Hammonds that comes in at the end was actually recorded at Real World, and we pumped it through into a plate reverb. I guess for those listening who aren't so savvy on recording techniques, we used the desk to send the signal from the Hammond organ into this beautiful analog plate reverb to create this massive spacious sound, and also the vocals and the keys, the Moog synth that we used were recorded at Music Ape in Bristol. So there were actually 3 different studios where we recorded stuff for that song. So again, it's we're bringing in kind of advanced kind of production techniques to be geeky.
I remember as well that As I Am, like, there was a feeling the day that we did the vocals, because that was an ape as well, wasn't it? And I was like, because of the sound, like I was boxed in. Obviously you have to be like with vocals to make sure that it's quite a dead sound. But I just remember like feeling really enclosed, and it was like this really personal vocal, and it just, I don't know what happened, but it felt really kind of magic somehow. But I think that has come across in the final.
Yeah.
Piece.
And that magic, like like I said, we've all worked on different projects and worked with different people and so forth. In the first few months when we started to get in the studio together, I think Loving You was the first track that we actually recorded together. And for the first time in all of the musical projects I worked in, we had that like magic moment, and we went, everyone sort of sat back and smiled and went, this is good, this is gold. There was like this, tingling hairs on your arms stand up sort of thing. We're like, cool, I think we're on something here. So there's definitely something.
There was a point, John, where I thought you were going to cry when we were getting Ruth to do some vocal harmonies and create a kind of choir synth sound, and we put it through a reverb unit, and I think you had been outside and you just walked into the room, sat down, and you couldn't really say anything. It was just like this like gospel kind of this like godly sounds that we created. I think we ended up kind of butchering it and cutting it up.
Yeah, we didn't use it.
But it's still in there, but it's still in there as like chords in the background.
That's right, yeah, we converted it into an instrument.
Yeah. Fantastic.
It's really funny. because it's quite a long time ago now. It's about over 2 years ago when we did that. So it's funny to think back. You forget all of these little bits.
Does that mean, do you think a lot of the music you've maybe been writing more recently, do you think that it's actually will mark quite a big change in Paper Dragon? Does it feel a bit strange to be releasing this music, which is actually quite old now?
I mean, not.
Sorry. I was just going to say actually that you know, the reason we had a certain style that we put out there was really because we just happened to have a lot of music that seemed to sort of link together thematically, but it's been very diverse, hasn't it, what we've been doing? But yeah, it is true actually. It's quite nice actually to have a backlog of stuff that we could just think, oh, that would work quite nicely now, rather than just, you know, working to deadlines and getting stuff out immediately.
I think you kind of get used to it as well, like in music, like you usually what you're putting out is about a year behind, so what you're making won't come out until next year, so you just kind of get used to that cycle, and it's kind of nice in a way to look back on it and be like, yeah, big up, loving you.
It's nice now we've got to this point where we sort of had to keep, not secrets so to speak, but by lining some things up for this year, and we sort of started lining them up about 6-7 months ago. And then now it's also, you get that bit of buzz of excitement because we know they're happening or they're going to happen. And in the near future, we'll have the ability to be able to tell other people. So that's quite cool.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll all stay tuned. I'd love to talk a bit about actually, the last year you just had, obviously building up on the success and probably maybe the first sort of proper year Paper Dragon being introduced to the public. I was wondering how you found it as musicians. Obviously you released a few singles and an EP, and how you found that. Did you find it a creative time being locked down, that sort of thing? Did you find it hard to be able to collaborate with each other? So how did you find it as musicians?
It was weird, I think. Like we are all used to working individually because we all have sort of separate studios that we work in, but we would like once a week we'd be in a room together. So then all the ideas will come in and then they come together and then you go, okay, cool, that makes sense of that. Whereas, you know, there's so many different ideas coming in when you're in a group that's really hard when you're not reading each other's body language, and it's kind of like dancing, isn't it? Making music, you have to read each other in a certain way, and so that's I think that is just a hard thing to do, but we've been really lucky that we've had the opportunities that we've had and people have been into the music, so that's kind of just driven us and just been like, yeah, okay, this is great. You know, we want to keep doing this. It's definitely been a little bit stressful at points. It will be really interesting to see how the next set of tracks like finish up. They're obviously going to be awesome, as we know that. But if they do have that sound, because we have had to do them with separation, which is you know, it's different from having like been able to get into the space, but maybe fingers crossed by just that the time we get to the last little bit where we have to pull it all together, we've got them all sort of in demo form, we might be able to get back into the same space a bit more regularly. But this the lockdown, the first lockdown, like I said, actually ended up being like a very successful time period. But fortunately for us, it was a lot of pushing and stuff that we could do remotely. So it wasn't, it was a less creative and a more sort of administrative part of the process. We've had like any of the gaps, like the little gaps in lockdown. So, like any opportunity to get into a workspace, and we've all just like dived into the studio, like, right, go, let's go. We've also been quite fortunate because we are totally self-sufficient. We do all the creation, we distribute it ourselves, so we run our own little label that distributes it, and we use a PR company that promotes it. So whereas we've had some peers and friends and things who have had labels and stuff, and the labels are starting to find it difficult because of the financial crisis and all of that sort of stuff, we've actually been able to navigate that and actually be quite agile and flexible and sort of get our heads together and go, right, let's do this, let's do that, and sort of not have to wait for people to approve it, which has been a bit of a win for us, really. Yeah, cool. I guess it seems to be, and you've also built a really good base for sort of 2021 moving forward, new songs coming out. It's quite nice to be able to have that time to get out and actually get some successes and recognition. So talking a little bit about your label and your distribution, is this all done quite locally? Would you say that Paper Dragon is quite influenced by Bristol, and do you think you sort of feel as kind of part of a scene in Bristol?
I think that there's definitely a Bristol influence, which is sort of inescapable because John, you've been in Bristol all your life, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here for 20 years, and John and Ruth are new beats. They're kind of.
I've been here like 15 years.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. Sorry, I thought you were London-based, and Chris, you were.
Only for 2 years I was in London.
Oh, yes. So yeah, we're all from Bristol. I think that's inevitable, isn't it? It's going to influence you. It's a very kind of cultural and musical place to live and to be around, as musicians especially. But you know, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of study about environments and how they influence your perception, and you know, just the sound of a city has an influence on the sound of the music as well as the cultural aspects as well. So I'm sure there's a whole kind of like atmosphere that comes through that we can't avoid, that just ends up sounding Bristol.
Yeah, and following on from what Bruce says there as well, like, because like Bruce and I have been working together musically for a long time, like 10 years or so. It was our 10-year this year, wasn't it? Our anniversary.
Oh, you
And we have bolstered, and Ruth and Chris brought along as well, like good local existing fan base. So all of our sort of peers, we've all like got our backs, and we've just had massive support from all of the people around us, and that's really helped as well. And that's sort of like definitely a Bristol ethos, is like everyone is like supportive and helps them, and yeah, it's more of like a wider collective that we've found now, and especially as well with gaining that little bit of traction and all of that sort of stuff. It's really, really nice to see lots of friends, family and other artists supporting what we're doing.
Yeah, brilliant. I saw live videos, actually. I think it was your debut gig at Crofters Rights, and it looked fantastic. So I'm sorry I missed it. I definitely would recommend it to any Burst Radio listeners. I was interested to hear, about when you're recording and writing your stuff, do you think about how it's going to be kind of perceived live, how you can present it? Because obviously I saw you had like backing dancers and that sort of thing, and how you think it's going to translate into a live setting. So do you think about that a lot, and how do you think the new songs will translate into that live setting?
Yeah, so but I come from one of my main things like tour and production management. So I spent a lot of time working with other artists, on a lot of time on their projects, and making their, so electronic DJs and producers sort of come to me and say, can you turn on my album, can you make it live? Like how do we do this? So we're really, really excited about the overall live project. And again, Corona stopped, like that Crofters gig is the only gig that we did. We had two more, I think, lined up, like April and then something else, but they got cancelled, pushed back. So we've converted that into doing some live streams. And what we're doing is figuring a strategy for when live comes back to try and sort of like give ourselves a leg up and be prepared with something like big. So we've started working with Gabby, who is one of the dancers that you saw in the video, working closely with, and it's an idea that Ruth sort of came up with, and it's about basically making more of, I'm going to call it like a cabaret show. I don't mean it's bigger. It's like show. Yeah, it is. So we've got we've had some tentative discussions. I'm sure they won't mind me saying, with a production company called Baseline Circus, who do Boomtown and stuff like that. And there might be something in terms of a live collaboration where we work with them. And what I'm doing with Gabby at the moment is we're working on a funding application to do the first phase of that, which is an R&D, like a week's R&D with 4 dancers, 2 choreographers, a film crew, and basically we've got an idea for a live show. The working title at the moment, or that we came up with the other day, is Rapture. So yeah, watch this space. It should be quite cool. I'm very fortunate, and we've got some really good collaborators, and my brother's a film set designer, and we're going to go for, potentially, if we can, I don't know, a virtual 3D environment and film it on a green screen and stick it into something cool. So we're just going big.
Wow, that sounds there's a lot going on. Wow,
big as we can possibly go. That's where we're going.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait. I guess can't wait for all this coronavirus thing to be over, and then
hopefully we should get out of it. So out of this first week's R&D, we're going to hopefully get a music video, and that's what it says: 4 dancers. Well, 6 dancers, including 2 choreographers, in a 3D environment with the band, doing something cool. So yeah.
Amazing. Wow, we're looking forward to that. So yeah, just before we wrap up, to sort of tie into that, what are the next steps for Paper Dragon? So you talked about, is your sort of music video, have you got sort of, do you think, an album on the way, or another sort of batch of music in the sort of maybe different style? What are you thinking?
Too much? Shall I just, yeah, we do. We've got an EP penciled for June. We've got a run of, we've got 2 or 3 collaborations with other artists, 2 more singles, culminating in a 5-track EP in June, and then I think we will have a little rest and work on this live show. And whilst then, probably, I don't know, album. It's really difficult. Albums, singles. You know, the Spotify model is singles, just bash music out. But we're sort of planned up to sort of August, I think, with stuff, and then we'll see what happens after that.
I think. Sorry, carry on, Chris.
Let's say we'll have an album by Christmas, I reckon.
Yeah, we can't stop making music. That's the problem.
That's the problem. I think the new music, like after the set, because we got some more kind of like downbeat stuff, or maybe we're through the downbeat stuff now. Well, we've got some more bits coming out, and then we've got some collaborations coming out, and obviously, like collaborations, they take on a bit of the makeup of the other act as well. So that they won't be just the Paper Dragon sort of sound, but I think the next batch of, like, the next EP definitely has a different sound, like a different texture to Birds of Paradise. And it's, you know, it's always within this, we always seem to, maybe it's me and lyrics, I don't know, but we always seem to like sit around this kind of connections, love, relationships, that sort of theme. I mean, it's age old, so why not? But but this new one's it's pretty funky. I'm really excited about it.
Brilliant. Well, it sounds really exciting, and I can't wait to hopefully at some point see this crazy live show, and looking forward to the new releases. And good luck in the future. It's been a pleasure chatting.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Burst.
Bye.
Bye.